Hello everyone, I'm Rajesh Raspal from BSIT-S2A, and I'm going to talk about operating systems. But I will only focus on comparing Windows operating systems. So the objectives of my presentation is to compare Windows 95, 98, ME, XP, Vista 7, 8 or 8.1, 10, and 11 in terms of the following: vendor support, code name, system type, system requirements, features, application and compatibility, backup and restore procedures, and installation procedures. So first, I'm going to discuss the vendor support and the code name So I have a table here that shows the code name of the different Windows versions. So the code names of the different Windows are used before the publishing of the Windows to the public. So code names are used as another name that are used by the by the company by the company so that it will add some secrecy before it will be released into the public. So here are the code names of the different Windows operating system. Windows 95 as a code name of Chicago, Windows 98 Memphis, Windows ME Millennium, Windows XP Whistler, Windows Vista Longhorn, Windows 7 Vienna, Windows 8 or 8.1 is called Blue, Windows 10 Threshold, and Windows 11 Sun Valley. So next one is the vendor support. So what is meant by vendor support is the support of the Windows to the version of the different version of Windows. What I included here in my table is the extended support end of the different Windows. Like on Windows 95, the mainstream vendor support ended at December 31, 2001. So the Windows doesn't support any troubleshooting from the Windows of that version because it has already expired. Same as Windows 98, which ended on July 11, 2006, Windows ME December 31, 2003, Windows XP April 14, 2009, Windows Vista April 10, 2012, Windows 7 January 13, 2015, and Windows 8 or 8.1 ended on just this January 2023, and the Windows 10 its extended support still doesn't end, but its mainstream support ended just this January 2024. Windows 11 is currently supported as its mainstream vendor support is currently supported until I think is January 2025 also. So that's it for the codename and vendor support. Next are the system type and requirement. So here are the different system type and system requirements of the different Windows operating system. As you will notice, Windows 95, 98, and Windows ME has the same system type, which is hybrid 16/32-bit. What it meant by 16/32-bit, it's because the 16-bit has backward compatibility with the older versions, but its core operating system is focused on 32-bit. What it meant by 32-bit, 16-bit, or 64-bit is because higher bits can support many modern softwares compared to what I meant is 32-bit is much more, can support more software than the 16-bit, and 64-bit can support more than 32-bit softwares. So in Windows XP, the core and its backward functionalities are 32-bit, and Windows Vista and Windows 7 and Windows 8 or 8.1 up to Windows 10 are 32/64-bit. So, and lastly, Windows 11 is completely 64-bit. So next is the system requirements of the different operating systems. I only included here the minimum system requirements of the different operating system. On Windows 95, it has 386 DX CPU and has 4 MB RAM as the minimum system requirements. What it meant by the 386 DX CPU, as you will notice, we have on Intel, we have already i5 and i7, but 386DX meant that it is supported also by Intel 8386, Intel 8386, which is an older version of Intel. So DX means double extended CPU, and it just requires 4 MB of RAM for the Windows 95 to work. Windows 98 has 486 DX2, which is a more advanced version of the double extended version of the Intel 8386. So it requires 16 MB of RAM. So next is Windows ME, which has Pentium. This is Pentium, and Pentium is the more advanced version of the DX2, and it has been used by Windows ME, Windows XP, and Windows Vista. So it, as you can notice, the MB, the RAM required for each operating system as it goes higher also goes double. Windows ME has 32 MB of RAM. Windows XP has 64 MB of RAM as its system requirements, and with Windows Vista has 512 MB of RAM. So next, Windows 7. So Windows 7, Windows 8 up to 11 now has a system requirements of 1 GHz of CPU. All of them requires now 1 GHz of CPU. 1 GHz means the processor of it can process 1 billion of instructions per second. So that is the minimum requirement for those Windows versions. And it Windows 7, Windows 8, and Windows 10 has a minimum system requirement of 1 GB RAM. And Windows 11, on the other hand, has much higher RAM system requirement, which is 4 GB, and the TPM of 2.0. So last is the hindi pa pala, features and compatibility. So these are the key features and compatibility of the different operating system. First is Windows 95. On Windows 95, they it is where start menu, taskbar, and plug and play was introduced. Start menu where the Windows button at the bottom left of the screen. That is the start menu where you can see the different applications of the desktop. Taskbar is the horizontal bar below the desktop where you can select different applications if you run it at the same time. And the plug and play is the feature of Windows 95 where it was first introduced, where devices like mouse, keyboard, and printers and etc., where if you plug them into the computer, it will automatically read the device without much manual troubleshooting. On Windows 98, it has more it became USB supported. The plug and play became USB support, and it added more ports for USB. And it also introduced the Internet Explorer which is the web browser. Windows ME, on the other hand, has its key feature, which is System Restore and Movie Maker. So Windows 98 doesn't have the System Restore that time. It was only manually restored the files, while Windows ME has another application, which is System Restore, which will restore backup files. And it also introduces the Movie Maker, which you can edit video clips and some other basic editing tools. Next is Windows XP. Windows XP has enhanced security and aero visual style. So Windows XP, where it was introduced the Windows Firewall and other applications for security. And it has also an aero visual style, which has modern style that mix with the modern generation. Windows Vista, on the other hand, has user account control and Windows Defender. It has more enhanced security than the Windows XP, and you can edit your user account on the Windows Vista. So in Windows 7, its key features have faster boot, improved taskbar, and libraries. So in the libraries, where it will the file manager was introduced, and it has 4 sections, which is the documents, the videos, the images, and the downloads. So it organizes your stuff in the computer. So next is the Windows 8 or 8.1, which has the touch-centric interface and Windows Store. So Windows Store was first introduced in Windows 8 or 8.1, where you can access different software on the Windows Store much more faster. Windows 10, the Cortana, the voice assist software of the Windows. Microsoft Edge, which is the an upgrade of the Internet Explorer, and Continuum. Windows 11 have redesigned start menu, widgets, and Android apps. In Windows 11, the start menu was changed and redesigned, and some other different widgets were added to the computer, and Android apps can now be run on the Windows 11. So its compatibility is based on the system architecture. So So Windows 95, it is only limited to 16-bit and only 32-bit apps, while Windows 98 has a better 32-bit app support. So as Windows as Windows upgrade, it also improved the compatibility with the apps that has been released. Windows 8 or 8.1 as different because it focuses on the apps from the Windows Store, since the Windows Store was first introduced there. So that's it for the key features and compatibility. Last is the backup and restore and installation. So here in the backup and restore procedures, in Windows 95, Windows 98, and in Windows 95 and Windows 98, it only has basic backup tools. So there, the backup for you to back up your files in Windows 95 and 98, you have to. There are a lot of steps needed that you need to follow. However, as Windows ME was released, it has System Restore, which is an software, built-in software in Windows, which you will after you click that application, you will have a store point which you can use as a store point which you can use as a saving point where you can go back to it if some problems were encountered on your computer. In Windows XP, the Backup and Restore Center was introduced, and the Backup and Restore Center, you can back up the files on your computer, and you can choose where to back up it. For example, floppy disk, CDs, and DVDs, and you can also restore it using those devices. In Windows 8 to 11, it has file history. The file history, it needs to be turned on so that you can go back and see the previous version of the files. On the system image backup, this is the latest backup and restore procedure of Windows, where you can see the different file version of the different files. Last is the installation procedures. In Windows 95 to Windows 7, it supports CD-ROM as an installation procedure to different computers, and Windows 95 can also support floppy disk. In Windows 98 and ME, it uses CD-ROM, which is CD read-only memory, to install. Windows XP can use CD-ROM or USB drive, since Windows XP has USB ports now. And Windows Vista can also support USB drive up until Windows 11. Windows 7 has DVD, can support DVD, and up to Windows 11. So thank you po for listening. That was my comparison po of different Windows operating system.